How you guys doing? Everybody knows what this is that pretty much fishes the Cape Cod Canal. This is called a Sebile stick shad floating wake model. It weighs 3 5/8 ounces, and it's a killing machine up there. I'm very confident with this lure. It's my new go-to. I very rarely take anything else out of the package. It casts fairly well. You reel it in, you could twitch it, you could fast retrieve it. Has many ways of working this plug, and it's deadly in my book. The problem with this plug is, well, it's a $35 plug. It's plastic, and when it hits the rocks, sometimes it gets stress cracks in it, as this one did. I had a fish on this plug, and it had some stress cracks, and the fish took it down into the rocks and rubbed the actual hook all out of the fish's mouth, and the fish took off. When I got the plug in, it didn't swim at all. It was filled with water. So I was going to throw this plug out. A friend of mine, Mike Peterson, who works at Charlie's Bait and Tackle up in the canal and is, in my words, one of the king of the Sebiles, told me don't throw them out because they're a hard lure to get. In fact, none of the distributors have them right now. You can find a few on eBay, and they run about $35. Then you have to pay for shipping. So this lure could run $40 in some cases. And if you really want it, you're going to pay it. So I didn't throw it out, and I drilled a hole in the bottom, 11/64. That's to accommodate a tube that I'm later going to use with this expandifoam. So what I did is I drilled the hole in the bottom corner, and I shook all the water out. Then I put WD-40 in it and shook it up in there to displace any other water, and shook that all out. And then I let the lure sit in the sun for a week and a half to evaporate any kind of moisture that's in the plug. That's when this comes into play. This is an expandifoam insulation, and it comes with this tube that is exactly 11/64 and fits into this hole perfectly. What I did is cut the tube down to 2 inches because so you could reuse the tube later and reuse this later. It runs about $6.99 for a can. I'm sure you can get it cheaper in Home Depot. I bought this at a local hardware store. Anyway, you insert that tube in the hole. You spray the foam in till you can see inside the plug it comes about halfway. And then it will expand into the plug over a course of 4 hours when it's totally pure. At that point, I sand down the little nub nub of foam that excess foam that comes out of the hole, and then I took a clear coat of epoxy, regular plug epoxy, Devon, 2-part, and I painted it on the plug, and then I twirled it until it's totally healed. It's not a great epoxy job. Don't even know if you need to do that. But I kind of sealed the plug. Sits in the water perfect. It floats. So the only difference with this plug now is it no longer weighs 3 5/8 ounces. It weighs 4 ounces, which is not a bad thing. It might cast better. I'm going to go out and test it and see if we can catch some fish. I hope this works for you. Hope it saves you some money in the future. So hold on to those old broken stick shads.